Let's go. We are back. This is the high testosterone, high energy show of the year for RotoGrinders here. Welcome to the RG Tournament Takes podcast. This is the first time we're actually live. We've been doing this for years. These are my same co-hosts from last season. It was a podcast form, but now we're stepping up into the live game. So a little bit to handle. We've got some chat members. Don Yeezy is here already. Jug Nation should be filling in. But yeah, man. Tournament Takes podcast, week 1 edition, NFL 2024. Got my man Notorious, who's got a little extra pep in his step, new woman in his life, new football season. Things are going. His kid is probably all grown up by now at this point. Bobby's got a new baby, right? So he's got 2 now. Mine just turned 2, so we are evolving. And we're going to make some money. Bobby just shipped some showdown to start the season, so he should be feeling good. And Noto, I read some of your content, and you seem definitely ready with the Noto, what is it, the key personnel article you do, which is great. I loved it. So what's happening, guys? Noto, how are you, man?
Yeah, what's up, boys? We're back. New season. We're live this year. We're not going to have to re-record any shows this year because we forgot to hit the record button, or we weren't prepared, or we were fighting. So yeah, we're ready to go. Week 1, ready to get after it. A lot of fun. So yeah, how old are you guys? These little ones now?
Mine just turned
2. 2. Yeah, mine's 2, and I have a 5-month-old, 6-month-old now, I guess. Yeah. How old's your kid? 18?
About to turn 9. Crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Time kind of flies. I remember 2 years ago when I hopped on this show, I just had a baby. So yeah, now he's 2. So
Kirk's already getting chirped. We need some pep in your step, Kirk.
Yeah, why me? Why am I getting singled out? And we're literally 1 minute in, and I did the Ric Flair woo, and we might have to ban this Justin. But yeah, let's go, man. So, Bobby, congratulations on your big win the other day. I also know I heard you're blowing up on Twitter right now.
Currently Twitter famous. Just got past 1 million impressions on a Jordan Love take. I'm getting absolutely killed in the comments. So it's fine. I blame it on Peacock, really. It was Peacock. They took 5 minutes to show the replay. The field was awful last night. People were slipping everywhere. It just looked to me that maybe he had slipped and then got rolled up on, and I don't know. Then when you see the replay, just got rolled up on. But yeah, I don't know. Twitter going crazy. Twitter famous currently. I might throw this link in the mentions and see if we can get some more viewership.
Well, that's a good thing to bring up. We're gonna have some ad reads, and now that we're live, so things are a little different. So I'm just gonna tell the best one first, and we'll start off the show with that. This year we have incorporated an RG NFL Listener League here at RotoGrinders. So each week, this Listener League is going to allow you to play alongside us, and as well as all the other RG members. And you'll have a chance every week to compete for first place and win yourself a month of RG Combo Premium. We'll put the link in the description of the show, but we'll have a team for us, and we're basically going to be battling it out with the other show's hosts, and whoever finishes the lowest is going to have to do some embarrassing things. I'm all set. I'm cool. I do embarrassing things all the time, so this is up my alley. But I can imagine Bobby might be sweating because I might make him wear a Jason Tatum jersey down in the North End for a weekend or something.
There's no chance. I will not do it. I did come around on Tatum after the Olympics when he was benched by Kerr, and I just
that's just politics. Yeah,
it's just politics. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, regardless, just don't come in last, and you won't have to do it. But
I won't even end up jumping in, knowing the majority of weeks. I just feel like I always miss those contests.
We're on a team, though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do one for the show, so we'll coordinate it. We'll coordinate in Slack or Twitter DMs, and we'll pump out our favorite team, and we'll blow these guys away. So, all right, let's talk football. Week 1, 12 games. We have few games with some high totals, high-ish. We got Jacksonville at Miami. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites, 49.5 total. We've got the Houston Indy game, which could blow up, I think, 48.5-point total. You got Arizona Buffalo at 47.5-point total. Then you got one more kind of like in the fringe there, Tennessee at Chicago with the new news now. Well, no, we'll get to that. So at 44.5, but everything else is like 42.5 or below. So this isn't huge. You know, we got lucky the other night with what a treat that game was. And I say what a treat because I would bet on the Chiefs. So I was happy for it. But what a game that was. And then last night was a solid game too. So we got spoiled, but now we've got all the slobber knockers mixed in on Sunday. But yeah, so the first thing I always do on our pod is I go through the Thorman snaps and pace to identify which are supposed to be up in pace over on established the run, and then I also compare that with Cardi's the blitz most plays. So they're in unison on one game. Both of them have Houston and Indy to be extreme up in pace games. So that might end up being the chalk, but it's also kind of tough to play that game because Houston just has weapons from every single which way, which makes me wonder why Stroud is so low owned this week. We'll get into when we get to quarterback, but I think that's an interesting spot. The Thorman up the snaps and pace article has Minnesota Giants and then Washington Tampa as games that should play fast. Cardi's got the Dallas Cleveland game and Tennessee Chicago game. But from there, what we're going to do is we're going to get a brief overview from our man Noto on what he's thinking, and then we're going to go and start with the running backs, which we'd like to do, and then we take it over to QB, pair that with the wide receivers. Bobby has his defensive segment. We'll also do the tight ends, obviously, but Bobby is very passionate about defense, so we allowed him to spit out a good defenses for us, and we'll give our favorite stacks, and then we will call it a. So Noto, big picture. How's this slate looking to you?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's known for defenses and his ad reads. I'm going to miss those this year. Their sales were just too good after our pod, so they had to look elsewhere for sponsorships. But yeah, excited for week one. It's one of those weeks where, you know, we think we know these teams. We've been, you know, analyzing all of their moves and offseason stuff for months, and, you know, now we get on the field. So I think it's a good week to be contrarian. I do think it's a good week to stack. Like you mentioned, the Colts and Houston game is one that I really love, but from the Stroud perspective, it's hard to pair him up. I mean, he might have the best wideouts in the NFL. It's hard to pick which one to pair him up with. But yeah, I think it's a good week to stack, good week to be contrarian. I was looking at different projection models around the industry, and none seem to align with each other. You know, typically we see a lot of groupthink when it comes to projections, and every site has, you know, different projections. So I think it's going to be a fun week. And if you have any strong takes, I mean, this is the week to do it, to, you know, kind of stick to your guns and be a little bit different, because we don't really know, you know, these teams and how they're going to play.
Bobby, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to be pretty concentrated on the games that I consider to be up in pace. Houston and Indy, obviously, I think is a really good one to start. Pittsburgh, Atlanta is another one. And then Tampa Bay and Washington. I think that basically covers the blitz in terms of like the very fast games. So that's where I'm going to be. The majority of my player pool and exposure is going to be from those games.
I thought you were going to be 100% Tyreek.
I'll definitely be heavy on Tyreek. I think I was 100% on Tyreek last year and had a pretty good week one. I think I finished like top 20 in the 100.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I was saying. I was thinking that you gotta go back.
I'll definitely be overweight Tyreek. I think the Jaguars in Miami games also one of those games that I want to have an allocation to. So, yeah, I like the Tyreek call a good bit. I think he's probably your cash game wide receiver, I would say, on the high end. So, yeah, I really like the Tyreek play.
All right, let's break it down. Let me pump out one of these ad reads, and then we'll start with the wide receiver. But so we got Splash Sports, new sponsor here at RotoGrinders. Skip the trip to Vegas. Splash Sports hosts NFL Survivor and Pick 'em pools every single week, available in 34 states, and luckily for TJ in Canada. Start with their $1 million Survivor pool in week one. This is you pick one winning team each week with a chance to move on for a $1 million prize pool. But remember, don't use the same team twice, obviously. Join us in week 2 for the RotoGrinders Survivor Revival Tournament. It's just a $20 entry, over 20,000 V1 plus RG premium prizes for the top 20. Check the links in our description for more details. So we got that one out of the way. But yeah, RotoGrinders is going to be doing a lot with Splash Sports this season. So make sure to check them out. All right, let's start at the running back because I usually build with like my favorite running backs and then I go into which stacks I like. So that's the way we start it. But we do have some like weird chalk kind of. I mean, right off the bat, we've got Rachaad White chalk. And as we know, last season, he was not the most efficient running back. He was good fantasy producer because he got tons of usage. Then we've got an older Alvin Kamara, who's going to be popular. And keep in mind that CMC, Breece Hall, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Gibbs, all these guys are off the main slate. So running back is a little thinner than usual. But we do have guys that I like I love Bijan this week. I love HN again. So like everyone's going to be playing like Kenneth Walker, it looks like, and White and Kamara maybe. I love to just try to deviate a little bit with like the upside. Like, this is a new offense for Bijan. He should get a ton of usage, should be a much more high scoring offense for sure. So all the best ball bros are up on Bijan, and I am too. But other than that, I want to hear your guys' takes on first, like White and Kamara, how much you're going to play of them, or if we go to the other guys. And then Bobby will do HN. I'm interested to hear his check because that was a passionate player for you last season. But Noto, what are you thinking at running back? Who are in the key personnel for you?
Yeah, this Justin in the chat, he's towing the line here with you, Kirk. But so running back, I didn't expect White and Kamara to garner so much ownership earlier in the week. Both of them have good matchups, but defense has changed so much year to year. Panthers were like an all-time bad run defense last year. They obviously got the home favorite for Kamara too, but man, his efficiency's gone down each of the last 5 years. And then Rachaad White, if he doesn't get his receptions, I don't know. I worry about that a little bit. So I think it's a good week to get a little bit different at running back. You mentioned Bijan. I like the Falcons as a whole. Just get rid of Arthur Smith, bring in Cousins. I think it's going to help their offense a bunch. And matchup against Pittsburgh is probably not the best, but I'm going to be early to a lot of the Falcons guys this week in the first few weeks of the season. I'll save HN for Bobby. Love Kenneth Walker. They got a new offensive coordinator. They're going to air it out a little bit more this year, maybe open up the playbook. But still think, touchdown favorites at home against the Broncos kind of pairs nicely with their defense too. So I'll play some of him. My favorite tournament play is probably going to be James Cook. You get access to the highest total team of the week in the Bills. Great matchup against Cardinals. Nobody really wants to play him. The knock on him last year was that, they take him out the field once they get inside the 20. Could happen again, but man, Allen doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. We've seen Cook be a big part of the passing game. And you just usually don't get access to this type of a player with that type of upside on a high total team at low ownership. So love Cook this week. And then, we'll circle back. Bobby, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so Alvin Kamara is in that game just basically versus the Panthers. Like, I like getting to Kamara. Rachaad White would be the one that I think is very shaky chalk. I'd much rather play Kenneth Walker, although I think Kenneth Walker's ownership will probably eclipse Rachaad White's by lock tomorrow. I could see Kenneth Walker being like a cash game stable for a lot of people. He has the same props as Bijan Robinson, and he's 1,600 less, so it just kind of makes sense. But I still think Kenneth Walker's a good play. Bijan's a play that I'm going to be over the field on versus Pittsburgh. I just think he's in a great spot as well. Devin Achane, like the efficiency, and also Mostert, like I think both of these players are going to be in a very good position tomorrow. McDaniel talked about like using the hot hand approach, and just based off Achane and his efficiency, like it's spectacular coach speak for Achane. Like I think he's a phenomenal play. James Cook pretty much same analysis as Noto versus the Arizona run defense. It's a really strong matchup. I think my tournament play, I'm going to go down the list. Like Io Sivas is going to be chalk at the wide receiver position. Pats have been giving up just above fantasy points projection to pass catching running backs. And I'm looking at Chase Brown at 5K. I think he's a super interesting play. He's someone that I'm definitely going to be over the field on. And he's just his price tag at 5K in tournaments is something that I have a ton of interest in. So that's pretty much where
he's going to be like unowned too.
He's going to be unowned. Yeah, I think he's a really strong play tomorrow. I guess another one you can throw in there is Brian Robinson Jr. if people think that Eckler is going to be worked in a ton, but Brian Robinson Jr. at 5'2", like he caught a lot of passes last year. He was efficient catching the ball as well. So on PPR sites like DraftKings, maybe people will shy away, see his ownership being depressed, and it's an up and pace game. So like him as well. That's pretty much the running back pool for me.
Yeah, I'll just follow it up here. Kenneth Walker, I do love. Denver gave up the second most running fantasy points to running backs last season. I think Walker's a beast. I think it's mainly his job, and the price tag is it just seems like, and his touchdown equity just seems pretty good, 6,100. So I love that one. Man, I like you came out spicy right out the gate with Chase Brown. I love that. I love Bijan. Bijan's going to be like in every lineup for me. And I'm kind of interested. I like James Cook, the Noto call, and I'm kind of interested in James Conner. It's like nobody ever likes to play James Conner, but like the guy just gets a ton of usage. And I mean, Kyler's back, but like, how much is Kyler going to be running, do you think, right off the bat? Like, you guys have a take or anything?
He'll probably be running, but man, Connor's a good bet for 20 touches. The Bills lost Matt Milano already. You know, he's kind of the engine of their defense. So I love the Connor call. Get access to that high total game with low ownership. And another guy, Travis Etienne, nobody's playing him. Kind of expensive, but another way to, get access to one of those high total games against the Dolphins.
Yeah, definitely. Love that game. So, okay, let's bring it over to quarterbacks. Interesting week because we just got some news that looks like Justin Fields is going to be starting. So Russ won't be cooking in week 1, and he's only 5K. So first off, does that move the needle at all for you on him, or like where's your guys stand just on him? And then we'll get into the other guy. It's going to be like A-Rich is going to be extremely popular. Trevor Lawrence, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen. The list will go on, but I want to hear specifically Justin Fields takes first. You got one, Noto?
Yeah, I mean, I'll always play Justin Fields, especially at a 5K price point. I know it's going to be his first, start with the team, but indoors against the Falcons, don't mind the matchup. He's got that rushing upside. He's probably one of 2 quarterbacks that could actually run for 100 yards in a game. So I'll definitely play some Fields. What about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I have interest in Fields. Any QB with rushing equity in a dome, I'm at 5K. I'm going to have interest in. I would imagine projections are going to gravitate towards Fields. Still think Richardson will probably be the cash game quarterback. I'll definitely have some Richardson. But yeah, Fields will definitely be in my tournament player pool for all the reasons Noto gave.
All right, you guys like Josh Allen?
I think he's fine. I just think the pass catchers outside of Shakir and Knox are guys that, while they're in a great matchup, like I worry about Coleman's ability to separate. I think we saw that in the preseason. He had some difficulty there, but he also didn't have Josh Allen throwing him the football. But I think my pass catchers that I'd be pairing with Allen are going to be pretty concentrated with Shakir and Kincaid, not Knox. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say I love Kincaid. I was like,
Kincaid, not Knox.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Allen is that you're probably building with Iosivas, just because Allen's so expensive on DraftKings, so you kind of have to save salary somewhere, and then you're kind of building similar lineups to the rest of the field.
What's Dortch's price tag? Is he just thinking of like a large field tournament swap from Iosivas, or however you say his name? Do we not? We don't know.
3,900.
There you go.
3,900. Yeah, I think he would be an interesting run back in Allen builds.
All right. Any strong takes? Any Trevor Lawrence takes? Any fringe guys like maybe like Baker Mayfield that nobody's going to play?
CJ Stroud at that ownership will probably be my highest owned QB.
I love him, but like, so who are we playing him with? Yeah, who are we playing him with?
Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Nico Collins killed that coverage all last season. What do they play? Cover 3 or something? I just been seeing it all over Twitter. I like Collins a ton. Tank Dell is going to be my highest owned receiver on the slate. You're getting him at 5,500. Like, really? 5,500 for the best receiver in the NFL, Tank Dell?
You don't think they're going to try to get Diggs going right off the bat?
The slot matchups likely, well, based on like last season stuff. I know it's a new year. It's probably the toughest matchup for Diggs. Diggs is fine, but I definitely prefer the other two. And
well, he might be washed. That's the rumor going around. I mean, that's what everyone's thinking. But he may have just needed a new change of scenery. We'll see.
I don't think he's washed. I don't think it would just be, if I was ranking the three of them, it'd be Dell, Collins, Diggs.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people are low on Diggs though. All right. Any last QBs?
Oh, yeah, I got lots.
Go.
Ugly one, Daniel Jones at home against the Vikings. I mean, the game has a terrible total. I think it's at like 41 points, but the Vikings like to play fast. Reports in practice say Daniel Jones has been pretty good in the hurry-up offense. He's got Malik Neighbors now. It's a very cheap stack, very low-owned stack. Don Yeezy's kind of with me on that one. In the chat, then Listoic in the chat saying it's Yoshi Boss, which I knew, but I forgot. So, yeah, just call him Yoshi.
We call him Yoshi. Yeah.
Much easier than whatever me and Bobby were saying earlier. But yeah, other quarterbacks. What about the rookies, Jaden Daniels and
Jaden's for sure a stud. Like, they're going to play cover 1. Mike Evans is probably the James Conner of this slate at the wide receiver position. The spot is fantastic. You should be getting to Mike Evans. I'll be playing Mike Evans. He's just like the name you hate to click. Every time I click him, he seems to drop like a 70-yard bomb, but I'll be clicking his name tomorrow.
I mean, this Baker could end up being good for this week, I think. Jaden Daniels, Cliff coming out here.
Horizontal rate.
It seems like there's only like it's an easy stack with McLaurin, and then I don't know. It doesn't feel very good.
Yeah.
Right, I like it. Like, we're talking about rushing equity, right? Like, the thing with me with Baker is, where's the rushing equity? I just don't. I get
it's gonna have to be touch. It's gonna have to be tutties.
It's gonna have to be tutties. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just want all my QBs to have some sort of rushing equity, especially the ones in high pace games. Like, it's a phenomenal matchup for Jaden Daniels. So he's definitely gonna hit my pool.
Yeah, I think his rushing props at 38.5 too.
And no one's playing Tua when Tyreek is chalk. And I mean, you can pair him with HN even. He can get production through the air too as well and just rip one.
There was actually coach speak on HN getting more involved in the passing game in the offense. Yep. So, like that call a good bit. I would say, like, the Tua situation, if I had to choose between Tua and Trevor Lawrence, it'd by far be Tua, just because you're getting a lower owned QB attached to it's differentiating
to the sickest upside offense, with the weapons, and it's kind of condensed this week. It's only basically there are 2 high-end wide receivers with Waddle and Hill, but that's pretty much it. And then an HN. So I think I might end up with Tua on my main team. He's in contention right now. It just feels like it doesn't take much to hit 100-yard to 80-yard bomb to Tyreek. It's one broken. He's off to the one broken tackle and he's off to the races.
I think I locked Tua in the Millie last year. That he was on my team that finished in the top 20. in the $100 first week.
What about Kyler? Nobody's talking about Kyler, even though that's a good game.
The rushing equity should be there versus the Bills defense. Like, I think that's definitely going to be there. It's going to be pace up. Marvin Harrison Jr. The target share is something like you should be attacking in DFS, right? Because look how condensed they were last year with McBride. Now you're just adding really Harrison. Like I said, I think Dortch is a fine cheapie, but the main targets are going to be through Harrison and McBride. So, yeah, I don't hate the Kyler play. It's just like, I don't know. He's out of the rushing QBs, he's the one like I don't want to roster, I guess, for whatever reason.
I mean, crazier things that happen in a week one when everyone's a rookie, Marvin Harrison, who's, I get it, an elite rookie, and this is a different situation. But, to find one of these cheap guys like Dortch or Wilson and play him with McBride for a little double.
What's Wilson's price? Do we have Wilson's price?
They're both cheap. They're Wilson's 4,300. Dortch is 39.
Yeah, those aren't bad price tags at all. I would prefer those guys to the ancillary Bills. Maybe that's a bad Bills like receivers outside of Shakir.
Yeah, how much is Shakir? It's 5,100. That's fine. I kind of like Curtis Samuel.
I just don't know how to judge him in this offense. Did we see a lot of him in preseason? That's going to have to be something I'm going to have to look back on after the show.
All right. Did we cover everyone that we're playing? Anyone else you want to throw out there? Or we good?
I think we're good. Who's going to be your highest owned quarterback play?
I mean, right now, I'm going off the board kind of. I mean, it might be, first of all, it might be Fields. But it's probably going to be Stroud or Mayfield or Tua. I'm going to try to just be different. And, all these guys with rushing upside, I get it, and I may take it on the chin with Richardson. You were high on Richardson right off the bat last season, I remember. He's just going to be so chalky, I think, this week, but, I'm going off the board a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
So are you playing Jonathan Taylor then? I mean, he's going to be under 10% if you want to.
I like Jonathan. I like him for sure.
Could be good leverage there.
I definitely like him. What do you think, Bobby?
I don't like him.
All right.
Do you like Richardson?
I like Richardson. Yeah, I like Richardson.
Same.
I don't love Richardson, but like for cash games and single entry stuff, like you should definitely have a Richardson team. Like Richardson would be my quarterback in cash, and then 3 max, definitely have a Richardson team.
Yeah, he's definitely a cash play. The cash play, I don't know. I mean, he's got a massive upside game. I get it. I'm just gonna try to be a little different. All right, let's take it over to wide receiver. Some of the guys that are going to be the most popular. Sorry, I'm pulling up Blitz. We got Yoshi. Obviously, we have to talk about 3K. Get constant. Jamar Chase just coming back from all his contract stuff. Probably, what? That's interesting. I want to get your take on Chase. I think Chase may just be just made nuke anyway. But with Higgins down, Yoshiva's now the guy. I get it. He's a big talent, but we haven't seen anything much yet. And New England's secondary, the one thing you can say about New England is that their secondary is going to be good. That's all I can really say. The team is going to be awful. The secondary is going to be good. But so where do you guys stand on Yosivas? How are you handling this Tyreek, who is the best play, in my opinion, the highest upside play, but also going to be extremely high owned? Then we got guys like Drake London, Kirk, Pittman, Neighbors. There's a lot of guys here, but right off the bat, I want those two. I want to hear about Tyreek, and I want to hear about Yoshi. No.
Yeah, the thing with Yoshi, especially in cash games and small field stuff, is, I mean, even if he has a bad day, if he goes 4 for 40, he's not going to hurt you. And if he has a good day, you're going to need him in those formats. So I'm playing him in that stuff. I mean, large field, I'm certainly fine pivoting away from him. There are a ton of options this week. But, I'll definitely play him, in my main lineup just because not only is he a great point per dollar option, but what he does for the rest of your team. You can kind of pick your superstars to build around with him. And Tyreek, love Tyreek, my favorite, overall wide receiver by far. Don't really love CD. I'll play some Jefferson too. But, man, anytime you get Tyreek, especially, at home in good weather, nobody's hurt right now. So they're going to have to put up points. Their defense is pretty banged up. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So, yeah, give me all the Tyreek. I wish I had a better take, but I'm just going to play the chalk with both of them.
Bobby, you'll be max entering, right?
Yeah, I'll be max entering. So in 3 max single entry cash games, Yoshi Voss, I think, is a very strong play. In like the $5 milli, or maybe the $100, I'll probably be at the field or slightly below. Just because I think like the 3K range is very strong this week. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Yoshi, whatever his name is. Tyreek Hill is, phenomenal play. I'll definitely be over the field on him. Just thinking through like who else I had considered. Michael Pittman's going to be a play for me. I think he's going to be, it's not like the sexiest play, but I do like him a good bit versus Houston. I will say AD Mitchell is at 3.8, and he's going to be someone that I'm going to be over my IOC Voss ownership on in larger field stuff. He's at 3.8K. Like, we've seen the speed. Like, Richardson will have trouble with this underneath stuff, and he's going to play a lot of the slot, but he's the guy that will also like take the top off this defense, and that's where I think Richardson is basically strongest when throwing, is going deep. The issue is like this Houston Texans defense really doesn't. It's more like preventative, and they're not going to give up the big play. But I think Mitchell's going to be one of those receivers that just can score versus anyone. So I really like him a good bit. Just going from there, like I talked about earlier, Mike Evans, I think, is a super strong play. They're going to play single high safety. Washington, it's just a coverage that Mike Evans destroys. Malik Neighbors at 5'9".
Yeah, I'm sitting here waiting to hear Malik Neighbors.
Like I couldn't bear to play Daniel Jones. I know Noto brought him up.
Country club kid. You can't play these country club kids.
I can't. Yeah,
that's my rule. That's my rule.
Yeah, but Malik Neighbors is definitely someone I have interest in. And Tank Dell at 5'5" is my favorite receiver on the slate, not named Tyreek Hill. I just think that price is way, way, way too cheap. And yeah, Diggs is probably going to get more snaps than him, but Collins as well. I think Dell's just the best receiver on the team. There's another, like, Rome Odunze is 4K on DK. Like, he's not going to be 4K all season. He's a player like from that Chicago offense. People are going to be on DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Like, just give me all the Odunze. That's why I think you can get away from Iosivas. He's only 1,000 more than Iosivas on DK. I think he's a fantastic play. Another one that I think will not be owned, and he's in a good pace-up spot according to the Blitz, is Deontay Johnson at 5'3". I just think he could see a ton of targets versus New Orleans. And like, if we think back to what Thielen did in this offense earlier in the season last year, like if Johnson assumes that role, like he's underpriced. Those would pretty much be my main guy. I will not play Jalen Waddle as a pivot off of Tyreek Hill. Like, I've heard that being thrown out there. Like, I have zero interest. This 5 to 5K receiver range is loaded. Christian Kirk's another one.
It's loaded.
It's absolutely loaded.
Like, that's where the money gets made.
Drake London is at 6'8". This is why I don't think you really need to force. I don't think you really need to force like getting to Iosivas and large field stuff. Obviously, smaller field stuff, I would have him single entry 3 max cash games. He's a staple, but yeah, I think that the receiver position is just incredible.
Yeah, my take. So if you're playing Yoshi in tournaments, is you're down to 2. You play 2 running backs and that's it, and you use him as the as an extra wide receiver and you load up on this wide receiver range that has all the upside. But Neighbors, so they're saying Neighbors is like a special route runner and absolutely electric. And you got no Saquon, you got no Darren Waller. Unfortunately, it's Daniel Jones. But
he's gonna crush this week.
He's gonna crush. They have to feed Neighbors, and Neighbors is gonna take Jones along for the ride.
I have one more cheap guy.
Let's hear it.
Darnell Mooney is down at 4-2. I think he's interesting for larger field stuff, especially if you're looking to pair someone with Fields. I know a lot of people will go to Drake London, who's also cheap at 6K. But I think Mooney's going to have like a revelation this year relative to what he was in Chicago. If you wanted to pair Kirk Cousins with someone, like if he assumes the Addison role, not Fields, sorry. I was just thinking of Chicago. Yeah, that's pretty much, that would be, I think he's an interesting. Rashid Shaheed is 4-4. Like it's loaded. This range receiver position is just out of control. We didn't talk about Shakir. I think Shakir is a phenomenal play. He's at 5-1. So yeah.
Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Terry Mack. What's his price?
I mean, there's like no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-6, dude. Yeah. The receivers, we're playing a lot of these receivers in the 5 to 6K range.
What about the Chargers situation? I know their offense looks terrible, but I mean, Justin Herbert's still good. Doesn't look like DJ Chark's going to play. Do you guys like McConkey or Palmer?
Prefer Palmer. I know he's cheap too. What's his Palmer got a nice cheap tag there.
5-2.
Yeah, I like
so
Palmer.
much.
I like
so
Palmer.
much. There's Godwin potentially against a horrible secondary last year. Obviously it's there's Mike Evans too, but could very well be Godwin. There's Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, the Seattle guys in the new offense.
Yeah, there's Metcalf and
JSN.
Yeah,
JSN's at 4.9. JSN's under 5K. Yeah,
I gotta start maxing this week.
Yeah, this is not a good week to build one lineup. Good luck if you do.
All right. What else? Am I missing anyone at wide receiver? Do we go into Drake? I know we've mentioned Drake London, but how high are you guys on him in general?
I love him this season. I have him tagged right now. I don't know. I just want to be early to the Falcons, but it is a tough cornerback matchup. But yeah, I just think just get rid of Smith, bring in Cousins. It's got to be 2 positives for London. We know the talent's there, so I'll be overweight. I might untag him for somebody else at this point, but I'll still be overweight.
All right. I guess moral of the story there is wide receiver is absolutely loaded in this mid-range. There's a lot of variance for sure, but there's some guys that could rip some big scores, and you're going to need them in that range because that's where.
Dude, is Jamar Chase really going to be under 10%? Sorry to cut you off.
I think he's going to go off. I think he doesn't. I think he's going to step on the field and be like, look who I'm playing with here. Like, give me the goddamn ball. And he's like has the connection already with Burrow and everything. It's not like it's his first season, or something. And I think maybe they try to limit him a tiny bit, but like, I think just let him rip.
Yeah, last 5 games without Higgins, 9 for 90 and a touchdown. He's averaging.
Who's this?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I don't know. If he's playing 60% of the snaps, the ceiling's still there. I just think this position's low. I don't think I'm going to get to Chase tomorrow. It's a difficult matchup too, right?
And so often we hear like, oh, he's going to be limited, but once he gets out there, if he's crushing, they're not going to.
It's like he won't be on the field for when they run the ball. And
do you really want to take that chance though with the?
Yes, I gamble. Yeah. I have bet on the numbers for the Atlanta power, like whatever the daily numbers drawing, because it was the only thing on the board with my account to bet on it. And I said, yes, I want to gamble. Let's get some balls and gamble.
Wait, I need to hear more about this. What are you betting on?
The Georgia State Lottery. It's like they hit that. So like one of the I don't know, the things on the site that lets you bet on are lottery numbers from different states. It was the only one on the board. It was Atlanta Georgia State Lottery numbers over or under the total, whatever their total was.
How'd you do?
I've also done Chinese. I've done women's tennis, and I looked up after I put the bet in on the career earnings of the girl that I bet on, and it was like I had bet more money than her career earnings. So
I bet the lottery one like one time in my life. It was like, what digit will the Mass State Lottery end on? And it was 3, and I hit it.
Bang!
Kind of like
boom. See, people say you can't win.
Question about Justin Jefferson. I don't know how we skipped over him. I mean, I love him as a bring back to my Jones neighbor stacks.
Throw up in my mouth with Jones. No way. How can you're lighting my money on fire week 1, Noto?
It's gonna work. Other people can chase Kyle Pitts. I'll keep chasing Daniel Jones.
The one thing I can say that you stay true. You have been a Daniel Jones truther for the entire time, and then you've admitted that he's not even good, but you're just the situations he's in.
I like to say more of an apologist than a truther, but yeah.
Sorry.
I can't wait for Buying For to get on the show tomorrow and tout Daniel Jones.
Wow, we got a hot take in chat. Brandon McNair, Jones is winning the MVP this season.
Oh, let's go. Buying For does have.
If you have conviction, bet that. If you have conviction, bet that.
Buying For does have him tagged. So
he has him tagged.
It always makes me feel good when
I can always guess
comeback. Look at this. This guy, first of all, he must be from New York. And comeback player of the year. He's betting on him too.
Let's go.
I love it.
Just play well week 1. That's all I need.
Yeah, man. Wide receivers loaded. All right, let's pump out an ad read and then take it over to tight end just a little teaser before we get the people ready for the Bobby Gomes defense segment. All right. Favorite pod contest. So if you're looking for a plus EV contest this NFL season, our friends over at Action Network have one for you. We do everything with that Action Network now. So their podcast called The Favorites is bringing back their free NFL Pick'em contest this season. Totally free to sign up at favorites.actionnetwork.com. Just 5 picks against the spread every single week. Cash prizes for the top 10 finishes, $40,000 for first place, $100,000 prize pool. So this is a $300,000 prize pool. Thousands up for grabs each week. Again, totally free. Contest just went live. Go to favorites.actionnetwork.com to sign up and compete for a $100,000 prize pool. I know everyone likes free contests, so get in there. Let's go. All right, let's move it on over to tight end position. Man, it's kind of gross, at least as far as I can see. It looks like Evan Engram is going to be chalk. Kyle Pitts is going to be chalk. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the cash game guy, but, we've all been trying to make Kyle Pitts work for forever. But with Arthur Smith gone, he should be in for a lot more usage, and the skills are there. He is electric, so people are big on him. I get it for cash. May want to beat him for tournaments, but Evan Engram is also going to be chalky too. And then other than that, maybe Dalton Kincaid or Trey McBride. But then there's other guys that could, like Njoku, no one's talking about. Jake Ferguson, no one's talking about. Zach Ertz should be extremely low owned, should be able to get some volume. Dusty old Zach Ertz. And then I want to hear whatever other picks you guys got. But Noto, what do you think of tight end this week?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be real simple at tight end. I'm going to go a lot of Dalton Kincaid. No Gabe Davis, no Stephon Diggs. Great matchup against the Cardinals. And I'm going to go a lot of Evan Engram. Coming off of a year, he had 114 catches. They're going to be throwing the ball a bunch against Miami. They're going to have to put up points. And for the longest time, he couldn't find the end zone. And then the second half of last season, he kind of came alive. So those are my 2 favorites by far. You guys can play Pitts. I've fallen for that trap enough. I got my own terrible plays that I like to play, like Daniel Jones. And same with Zach Ertz. I mean, if he burns me with 6 for 37, then so be it.
Yeah, if Dusty. But if there's ever, it's week 1 is the time to get him before his back.
That is true, I guess.
Before he's paralyzed.
If I'm punting, I'm just going to go Kylan Granson. a cheap guy to pair with my Anthony Richardson shares. But other than that, I think I'm just going to stick with those three and hope that they play well.
Bobby, what you got?
I'm with Noto on Kincaid and Ingram. Very, very strong plays tomorrow. Extremely strong. McBride's up at 6-1. He's 300 more. They're concentrated, but I think he's still in play. Kyle Pitts at 4-6. Like, I can play some Kyle Pitts. I never play him. So this year I'm probably going to be on him. Like cheapies, people are playing Ertz. Is Ben Sinnott at 2,900 in the pool? Is he playing this week, or what's the deal here? Because I don't see him where I'm looking. I think he's interesting in that Washington game, the rookie tight end.
Yeah, 2,700. He's 2,700.
Yeah, I like him a ton for tournaments. I like him a ton. Granson in that.
Bring in the heat. Chase Brown and Ben Sinnott this week. I love it. I want to see a lineup with both of
Wait
those.
till you hear my defense. 2,900 Granson. I think he's fine. Bowers is in that Vegas Chargers game, and I just don't think people are going to have any interest in Brock Bowers. Like, he could be a stud. Definitely a low T guy with the hairline, but he could be a high T guy on the NFL football field. So we like him at 4,500. That's pretty much it for me. Fryer moved 4,400 in that pace-up game. I'm not playing Zach Ertz. Like, I can't play Zach. Johnny Munt, just to throw this out here and that, just to give Noto another run back. Like, he played like 70 or 80% of the snaps when Hawkinson was out last year from Minnesota. So I think he's in larger field stuff. I'm sorry I'm just throwing everything out there.
You know how stacked wide receiver is? I never even mentioned Olave. Just came to me. I love Olave because I don't think Kamara is the smash that everyone thinks he is. I think it could be Olave, and he's an electric talent. He has huge upside. He's 6,600. He's going to be in that zone where he's like not going to get played because there's so much of that in the 5 to 6K range or above with like Tyreek.
Yeah.
The
question with Olave is like, can you stomach Derek Carr?
Derek Carr. It's who knows? No. The answer is no. You can't stomach it.
You can't stomach it. I don't know.
We're in the middle of baseball season. We're on tilt freaking 6 out of 7 nights a week. It's I can stomach a little tilt as long as I can blame other people. Then
that's the best.
That's the most important job of a tout, I think, is to be able to take the blame from other people.
And then and then also be able to blame variance if you just suck.
You got to have your tricks. You got to, it's
ran bad this week.
Yeah, right.
My NBA season, I blame.
I made the right plays. The players just didn't produce. I put the guys the right opportunities, and they just didn't come through. They let me down. We didn't let anyone down. But yeah, Johnny Munt 2,900. TJ is talking about in chat too.
Taysom Hill's chat.
Yeah, that's true too. This is gonna be a hectic week.
Munt? Who was the thrown in chat?
Munt and Taysom Hill.
I said Munt. I talked about Munt. Kirkwood.
I know, but TJ also talked. I said TJ also came in with that too. So that's
unless it's a Spidey bomb from TJ, I'm not
Dude,
all in. It's just
Taysom Hill.
If he flames out.
Taysom Hill wants to score all the rushing touchdowns. I would love it for the Saints. Just bad day for Kamara.
As a Saints fan, I genuinely think that's going to happen. Not just this game, but a lot this year. Like,
you best ball guys are insane.
I think he's like 34.
Guys are insane.
I think he's like 34 or something now, but like he's legitimately faster and stronger than he's ever been. It's weird. He's squatting 680 pounds, and they have to tell him to stop.
Test him.
Yeah, it's not weird. This is normal.
Stop steroid use.
He prays a lot.
But
it's like when they tell their girlfriend, "Oh no, I don't. I'm clean. I just work out a lot." And the girlfriend's like, "Oh, he's so clean. He just works out all the time. The guy's all gym rat, And
then his legs are like toothpicks. Not Taysom Hill's, obviously, but
just in general. In general
person Kirk's referring to, whoever that person is.
Out here, we know a lot of stupid Boston meatheads out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Other cheapie I'd want to throw out there just because in that same game, Carolina's missing all kind of tight ends is Sanders at 2,900 because he's likely to be the starter and main pass catcher for them at tight end.
Don't mind that.
All right, let's go. This is the most.
Unless
you guys got any last nuggets or forever hold your peace, because we're going to the Bobby Gomes defensive segment.
Oh, I got it lined up this week too.
No, you got one. You had something on your tongue there. Son.
Too late. We're moving on to the best segment of the show.
All right, let's go. Let's ring the energy.
New England Patriots 2,600.
Wow. Great secondary.
They're getting Keon White's a beast, guys. Keon White is an absolute. We're taking away Chase 60% of the snaps. Iosivas chalk, bad matchup. Chalk into a bad matchup. I never love. I do like Chase Brown. I will say that Chase Brown I think is a good play on the Cincy side. But the Pats, dude, are they at home? Where are they? Are they in Cincy?
In Cincy.
Still, defense, new defensive head coach.
You were that's not stopping you. You were already there.
I was already there. 2,600 New England Patriots. I think they might pull out a win tomorrow.
Some other defenses I can see are Browns potentially, Chargers. What about the Panthers? I don't know. I don't really care. I just play whoever fits, but
I just don't think the Saints are going to have to throw much. Dude, give me the Bears.
All right.
3,400. Will Levis on the road. The new offense are want to air it out a bunch. I think we could see some turnovers there.
We didn't talk about DeAndre Swift or Herbert. Who would you be correlating with that? Just interested. Tennessee's tight. Tennessee's run D is good, right?
Yeah. Probably just play Bears D.
Bears D. Kirky, you have one?
Broncos, 2,500. That's it. That's my analysis.
Low T. Can we be the low T show? We should be the low T show.
No, first of all, this is bad. This is not true. We are not the low T show.
If we get Davis Maddox,
the only way we would be the low T show would be if we got Taylor.
Taylor, yeah, we could. Yeah,
he would fit right in. He'd fit in like a glove.
Right? A Taylor drive-by. What did he ever do?
No, all four of us. This is we're all together.
What about the Raiders? Somebody brought them up. I love that call.
The Raiders?
Good pass deep, good pass rush. Going up against Chargers have nobody.
I like Antonio Pierce as a head coach. Yeah, I don't mind that. I could play some Raiders. We didn't even talk Zamir White, right?
How much are the Raiders? 28. I like that one.
Did you hear about Herbert in pressure situations? Like he was in the elevator for 12 hours or something. He just stood there stone faced.
No way. Just not phased at all.
Just not phased at all. He was probably just ready to jump off a bridge because he was stuck with Jim Harbaugh in an elevator for 12 hours.
Their weapons are very concerning. All right, yeah. We did it. We're on a good pace. Let's finish up with our favorite stacks, and then close out the show. Am I good, TJ, for ad reads? I did them all. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Favorite stacks. Well, mine's going to be. I've already planted my flag that I'm going with Tua because I just don't. I can't. The guy with the most elite weapons never gets owned. And I get it. He doesn't have all the rushing upside in the world, but if this game shoots out, I'll take my chances. So give me Tua. And obviously, it's Tyreek, and I'll throw HN in it, and then worry about what I go from there. Who's the best bring back, you think?
Ingram.
Yeah.
We don't need a 4 spring backs, correct? We're over that. That was
I'm
10 years ago.
I've been on that train for a while, but I played the smaller field
forever.
I played the smaller field high stakes stuff, so it plays better over there to that kind of stuff. But for max entering. I'll let you talk. But if you're on board, yeah, I'm already there.
I've been there. I've never really maybe the beginning when it was becoming trendy, and then I was like,
we were forcing like three bring three. We were doing triples with a 2 bring back.
Yeah, and like in a 16-point team total, you got to bring it back on the other side. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. All right. What do you got, Noto? Favorite stack?
All right. I like Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin, and then I like Daniel Jones, Bobby's guy, to Malik Neighbors. I do like the Stoics stack in the chat. Richardson to Mitchell. Bobby brought up Mitchell on the show. I was going to talk about this a little bit, but Houston with Derek Stingley, they've been very good against Pittman in the past. So with Downs out too, I think Mitchell could be an awesome play this week.
Mitchell's like my highest owned guy in best ball. Do you guys want to guess how much ownership I have of Mitchell in best ball?
What was he, the 23rd pick?
No.
First round? Not in best ball. I'm saying in the draft.
I have 75% AD Mitchell.
There you go.
75%.
Nice.
He'll tear his ACL tomorrow.
I like how you said you best ball guys, but then you're touting your Mitchell shares in best ball.
I don't know. There's so much best ball content in the summer because there's nothing else to do. Like everyone gets so into it, and like,
none of them play MLB.
Really, yet. All that matters is like pick the guys that stay healthy. It's my take. It's
like, yeah, I think that's like we had this conversation on the phone the other day. Like there's so much analysis when all it comes down to is like, oh, don't pick the guy who gets
injuries. Hurt. It's just injuries.
Jordan Love's likely a great play. I say for Leone was talking about this on Twitter earlier. Like he's fantastic play, and I guess people are in his mentions like hit him up because he was like one of his favorite plays and he got hurt. Like what are you going to do at that point? You know what I mean? Like Love was going to be a smash play.
I got to keep tradition going, so we're going to close out the show. Wait, Bobby, you gave your stack, right?
I did not. CJ Stroud,
like
to my man Tank Dell,
love it
for $1 million.
The $1 million man says another millie's on the way. All right, the real reason why there's people watching this show are for the Kirk D's UFC bets of the evening. We got a card tonight.
Finish up with a woo. I thought they were waiting for a woo from the three of us.
Maybe we'll give a group woo for the end here.
Well, I think we end it. We do the group woo. That'll be
all right. But I got some plays, and I'm firing heavy on these plays. Number one, Gabriel Santos. This is chalk. He's expensive, but you can parlay him with everybody. I'm extremely confident. This is a guy he would be much higher if he didn't lose 2 fights to really, really good competition. This guy's going to be a beast. He's minus 260. There's another play, Fletcher, minus 125 or 130, depending on the site right now. He's a strong play of mine. Petrosky is a strong play, and I'm also going to at minus 265. The line is steaming. I'm also going to play him inside the distance at plus 200. I got in on. And then there's a fight with Matt Schnell against Cody Durden, which was just added. Minus 170 on DraftKings. You can find a fight does not go the distance. And then I also like as an underdog, who was it? It's Lima, I think. So I don't know. Those are the plays, but the strong plays I gave. Gabriel Santos is a real strong play. But let's write those down, Noto. Put them in.
Can we get a running total? I just assume you hit every single one every week. So let's tout it when it happens. You know?
Well, I'm limited. I'm limited, and even though I'm the biggest fish better on everything else, they've only limited me on UFC, which they're like, oh, go ahead, bet everything else you want.
Since this is sponsored by Splash Sports, we give our favorite survivor pick.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going with Seattle. Are you guys doing the big contest? I think everybody's going to do Cincy. But, do you guys have any takes?
I have the Falcons, but I'm currently thinking about switching it because of the Russell. I think just Fields makes Pittsburgh better. I don't know if they can actually beat them, but it does. I have a little bit of skepticism now. So I have to dig into Seattle because Seattle would be my switch.
Yeah, no, I like the Seattle. I'm thinking about them. I'm trying to find someone I can get away with this week, like as the only time that I would ever use them. So I'm thinking maybe the Saints. I'm not so high on them in general this year, but I'll say that's what I'm doing. But really why the people are here, we got to give a Wong teaser.
Oh, forgot. Yeah.
And I have one. Don't worry. I came prepared.
The Wong was 2 for 2 in the Thursday, Friday night games, right?
It's all about Wong. Wong season. That's right when the NFL starts. My boy Aguilar texted me, it's Wong season. And I was like, yeah, right. And we got our first play, and it's Cincy and Dallas.
I knew that. I knew he was leading off with Cincy because I was with him last week, and he basically told us Cincy's in the Wong, and now no Chase, no Higgins.
Well, yeah, but the line when he thought they were going to get on Wong, they're still Wong, but he has a worse line, so he's all up in arms over a point and a half. But don't worry about it. It's going to hit. So you take it. So what it'll be is Cincy minus 1.5, Dallas plus 8.5, 6-point teasers, minus 120 on DraftKings. That's the last place where you can get them and still make them plus EV. So yeah, let's go. All right. That's it. That's a wrap. We've made it through the first edition of our live show that we've ever done. This isn't a long podcast. This pod's been going for like 7 years, I think it is. I've had a lot of other co-hosts along the way. JSU, who we lost, who we love, still our boy. Always respect what he has to say. Killer B was a long time my co-host. Bobby came through. Tambo was a host at one time. Bobby joined me, and we had Noto for last season. I'm glad you're back this season. We're also going to have some special guests. If Noto's bogged down with content and can't make it some weeks, we'll have some special guests that will step up. But this is going to be a fun year. Good season. We've got NFL. We've got Wongs. We've got UFC bets for tonight. Action-packed weekend. I'm psyched. Can we get a woo on 1, 2, 3, fellas?
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3. Woo! Let's go.